Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at the new reveals from Warhammer Fest. So today we saw the Warhammer 40,000 Warhammer Fest reveals, and they were primarily focused around chaos, as we sort of guessed or anticipated, but there are quite a few releases and then some cool news as well. So let's kind of take a look at what we have here. So revealed, Heretic Astartes revel in the blessings of the Chaos Gods. Foul Omens have revealed the new Codex Chaos Space Marines and teased the unholy boons within. We've already learned that the corrupt legionaries who spill forth from the Eye of Terror are getting a panoply of accursed improvements, an extra wound not least amongst them. But what else do the Dark Gods have in store for those who have learned from the Emperor's Light? Again, I'm going to just skip the video. You can obviously watch it on your own, but we'll just take a look at the models. Yes, your prayers have been answered. Let's start with the beefed up Possessed. They're now the size of a Space Marine in Gravis armor, but rather than enhanced gene seed, heavy engineering, and plenty of juice, these fiendish freaks are swollen with the power of chaos. So we see a new squad of 5 Possessed. Again, it says they're the size of a model in Gravis armor, so pretty large overall. I think the fact that we can kind of like see their bodies, see their flesh, and see that it's swollen to like the size of the actual armor, and then you have on top of it like extra little stuff like the hooves and big size of the claws. You can kind of see they're pretty big and beefy. It was also noted that they are on 40mm bases, and there are 5 of them in the unit. So this is our first one. So here is the second one. This one's got a little bit of like a Slaneshi vibe to them. They remind me of some of the old bits from the kit and everything, but are pretty unique in their old right. Here we can kind of see for proportion the size of him compared to a Primaris Marine. I mean, he looks pretty large compared to that thing. And the Terminator on a 40mm base like is big, but I don't think it has nearly the overall like size of these guys. They're like kind of beefy and compact. These dudes are like big and have like a large silhouette. So here again we see another one. And then that's our final one right there. So overall have a nice aesthetic to them. They are large and they are pretty much exactly what you would expect for Possessed. I have to say overall I like them. I think they did a good job. They're not like, oh my god, these are absolutely amazing. These are the best models I've ever seen. But they definitely look good. They're up-to-date Possessed. I think anybody who wanted up-to-date Possessed would probably be happy with those. Whether you're a devout word-bearer, eager to share your body with a creature of the warp, an unfortunate victim of your legion's master of possession, or simply want to field a spectacular squad of devastating demonkin, these warped and mutated creatures will fit into any force from the new Codex. So I'm assuming this is like your, kind of sergeant of the squad. And then we have, it's kind of got like the back banner. We have some like little close-ups of some of the weapons and everything. Pretty cool, nice detail. I think they look good. They're right in line with the greater Possessed. So I think this basically is exactly what I was expecting. Heavy-hitting half-demons offer some monstrous melee power, making them a great way to back up gathered mob of cultists. Fortunately, there's a new box of miniatures on the way to represent those motley mortals, foolish or ambitious enough to throw in their lot with the Dark Gods. So we see a pack of cultists, 10 in the set. These have the look of the Blackstone Fortress cultists, with I think overall they're really nice models. So these are right along in line with them. So I believe there was there 8 in the Blackstone Fortress set? I can't remember, but these are unique 10 cultists right here. And again, they're right in line with that kind of overall aesthetic. They look good. I like both these models. This guy is kind of like portrayed as the leader, but I don't see any differentiation between any of them. So they may all just be like generic cultists. We see some female and male models, all armed with various pistols and close combat weapons. Definitely like a bunch of different close combat weapons. No two are alike here. Again, we see a nice blend of like males and females. Nice blend of various weapons. Some of them have bolt pistols, but most have the auto pistols, and then some sort of combat weapon. This one has like a bionic arm. Pretty cool overall. I think they look good. I really like the Blackstone Fortress expansion cultists that these are based off of. So these will go really good along with them. So again, I think this guy's probably the sergeant because he has a bolt pistol and everybody else gets an auto pistol. But I'm not sure there's any actual like differentiation. He's the only guy I noticed with the bolt pistol, and he's positioned in a lot of the photos kind of like center. Vile abominations or blasphemous zealots, can't decide. Why not both? The new accursed cultists represent the insane variety and varied insanity that overcomes a mortal follower of the traitor legions with frenzied array of misshapen mutants. So these are the accursed cultists, they are called. So they are basically like possessed, quote unquote, space marines, but instead these are kind of like possessed cultists. So we see they don't have any actual weapons, so clearly these ones are going to be better in hand-to-hand combat, maybe a little more tough or durable, but not going to have any form of shooting attack. Again, they're based off of those same basic models, and then they have like, you know, some pretty cool possessions or curses taking place. But overall, we see like the same kind of helmets, the same kind of clothes and everything from the previous set. So they're going to go along really well with them. I like the overall new aesthetic. Some of them look cooler than others. But overall, nice. And again, 5 of those in a kit. And then next we see these gaggles of unholy heretics are accompanied on the battlefield by the horribly warped Torments, twisted beyond recognizability by the dark rituals and demonic influence. These abominations lurch forward to pounce on their enemies with a bestial hunger. So these are the Torments, which it actually calls them Accursed Cultist Torments somewhere else. I think it was in the video. So essentially this is like the step. We have the cultists, then we have the Accursed Cultists, which are like, you know, kind of being possessed by demons, and then these are the Accursed Cultist Torments, which is like the final progression. So we see the body like kind of remains, but they're like bursting out demons, or like full possession is taking place. Again, we see like the, you know, body remains, and then he's got like the demon kind of ripping through his like existence. And then here's our final one. Very cool. I mean, definitely like a little crazy. Obviously have that unique kind of demonic culty looking thing going on there. But pretty cool overall. I do like the idea of them like basically like materializing through like the possessed individual, like kind of breaking free. So there's 3 of them. They also mentioned in the article, not specifically how big these are, but I think we can get a pretty good idea. But that these will be available, I think, in this box of 3. These will be available in a box of 5. But on the battlefield, you were taking these as an upgrade to the Accursed Possessed Squad. So these are actually part of the Accursed Possessed Squad, the way they spoke about it in the video. So it gives me the impression that they'll be sort of like a crew tox for Kroot. He'll be a part of the actual squad, an upgrade that travels around with it. Different, you know, melee stats, different wounds, maybe toughness, etc. But you know, will be like the hard-hitting part of the Accursed Cultists. Interesting models. Look good overall. And then these grotesque guys lend a classic lost and damned feeling to an army of traitorous Astartes, and they'll be a welcome addition for the cast lord who enjoys commanding a cultist-heavy horde of mortal rabble. Whether it's an Alpha Legion rebel cell or an indenturous helots of the Iron Warriors. Indentured helots. I don't know what a helot is, but interesting. In fact, you can even lead your cultists with more cultists thanks to the new HQ unit, the Dark Commune. So here we have a cultist HQ called the Dark Commune, and there's basically 4 different characters in this. It's a pack of 5, but 2 of them are bodyguards. So we see a bodyguard here, and then there's one that's kind of like the mirror image holding a sword the other way. Very nice looking models. Here we have, I don't remember the names, but this is basically the cultist leader, the main cultist of the cultist HQ. And then here we have like the standard bearer. Pretty cool. This thing looks pretty massive too compared to his size. And then we see the second bodyguard, and then this is the psyker. And the way they describe this is sort of like a possessed or like a demonic psyker's head, and then it's attached to like some sort of machine that's like keeping it alive, and then the cultist behind it is sort of like its IV. Pretty interesting, definitely very grimdark. Reminds me of, once again, the Blackstone Fortress, kind of like cult psyker guys. I can't think of what they're called right now, but definitely like one of their heads on here. So they definitely got some strong look to go along with all the Blackstone Fortress stuff, and looks really nice. I really like this HQ. I think all the models look great. The bodyguards look awesome. The standard is very cool. Really like it. I like the crazy idea of the psyker too, and then obviously the whole unit probably counts as like a psyker unit, and then has some like pretty cool mixed rules, I'm sure. So overall, very nice looking models. This squad is the festering heart of any chaos cult and offers a profane platter of prayers and powers. The priestly cult Demagogue leads the congregation, accompanied by psychic Mindwitch and inspired Iconrach. Iconrach? Yeah, okay. All guarded by 2 blessed blades, whose swords skills keep unbelievers at bay. So the cult demigod, Gog, is the main guy. The Mindwitch is the psychic head with a cultist attached. And then the Iconrach is the icon bearer. And then the Blessed Blades, which is an interesting name, are the 2 kind of like bodyguard warrior guys. Overall, really like the look of these guys. Everything looks good. Of course, mutants and mortals aren't the only things on the table in the massive new codex. Improvements to legionaries ensure that the traitor legions are as terrifying as they deserve to be, while the new warpsmith and chaos chosen make your machines more dangerous and your elites more, well, elite. Chaos commanders, get ready to field a veteran warband of hardened chaos space marines, a horde of chanting cultists guided by a dark apostle, a pack of demon engines led by Lord Discordant, or anything in between, or even start your own Black Crusade with a baton. So they didn't actually show it in this article, but we've also seen a preview of a new Demon Prince model as well, and it actually has 2 variants, so you can kind of alter its feet and like the rocket stands on to have like hooves or kind of regular feet, and then also he has a choice between like a more Chaos Space Marine backpack or gigantic wings, and it's a really nice looking model overall, and that is available for Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar. So it's a Chaos Demon Prince big one, like what we normally see, probably even bigger, very detailed and very good looking, and useful in 40k and Sigmar. But that is actually it for the Chaos reveals from this one. I wish I would have pictured that Demon Prince in here. If I realized he wasn't going to be in the article, I would have pulled up some extra pictures. But and there is actually one other pretty cool piece of news as well. Obviously, we know what's coming in the Codex, but it's what's not coming in the Codex that is the most exciting. They have announced officially that World Eaters are removed from the Codex, and they will be getting their own Codex. So they are working on or finishing up a World Eaters Codex, much like what happens with Thousand Sons and Death Guard. They branched off and got their own, so we know World Eaters are getting their own as well. And they have announced also they would be getting new models to fill out the range, including Khorne Berserkers. So for all the Warhammer 40,000 Khorne / World Eater fans out there, it is time to get excited because your Codex is in the pipeline. So we know for sure that we are at some point in time getting a Squats or Leagues of Votann Codex. We have a new Chaos Codex coming out soon. We just got the Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights Codex, and then we know that there's going to be at some point in time a Demons Codex, and then now a World Eaters Codex as well. And then of course we're still waiting on Astra Militarum, and perhaps, who knows, when this Codex comes out, we might notice something else is missing, and it's possible that Slaanesh will be branching off as well. So we'll have to see. I think it makes sense that that is probably the next step. I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but in the same edition, they moved Death Guard and then Thousand Sons over to their own codexes. So it would make sense if they're going to do this edition for World Eaters, that they would do them for the Emperor's Children as well. So I don't want to get too excited yet for all the Slaanesh fans out there, but at least the World Eaters or the Khorne fans can rejoice in the meantime. But that is it for today. Let me know what you think of the new models, what excites you about these. There was one thing I noticed for these guys is that you only get 5 in the set. That seemed kind of weird to me. I would think these would come in like 10s, or they would put, you know, kind of like some kind of combination between the big ones and the little ones, because this doesn't feel like a full box. But I don't know. I guess if it's just 5 guys on 32mm bases, that's the equivalent of 10 guys on 25mm bases. I don't know. Just something I noticed. So, but that being said, gonna wrap it up there. Let me know what you think down below. What excites you most? The new models, the new codex, or a combination of those, or the announcement of the new codexes to come and some new Khorne berserkers. I know for a fact I personally will be picking up some Khorne berserkers, as I have prolonged purchasing them for some time and got rid of my old ones because the models were just too blah. And I thought about converting them, but just assumed at some point in time their time would come up, and now it looks like they are in the pipeline. So that's it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you're into reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials, magnetizations, anything to do with Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, warcry, even some Horus Heresy or some Underworlds, D&D, pretty much anything to do with tabletop war gaming, I do appreciate it. That's it for today, guys. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.